Here is the news at 9. First, the highlights. Governor Sorolo describes Lekki Deep Sea Port as maritime logistics hub for Africa. Federal government inaugurates 37-member minimum wage committee. On foreign scene, African Union expresses deep regret over withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger from ECOWAS. And in sport, Super Eagles head coach Osipasaro remains positive on goalkeeper Stanley Nwambali's fitness ahead quarterfinal tie against Angola. Now, the details. I am Sarah Adesanya. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has described the Lekki Deep Sea Port as a project that has enshrined the name of the state and Nigeria and the global maritime business, saying Lekki is fast emerging as the hub of maritime logistics in Africa. The governor made this remark at the arrival of CMA CGM Scandola, the largest container vessel to berth in Nigeria, at the Lekki Deep Sea Port in Lekki. Sanwo-Olu expressed happiness at the coming of the vessel, which he referenced as proof that Nigeria is creating a new environment for business. According to the governor, Lagos State is taking seriously the challenge thrown by President Bola Tinubu to remove Nigeria's economy to $1 trillion mark, as the state sees maritime as one of the key drivers that can deliver on that goal. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Boyega Oyetola, who was represented by the Managing Director, Nigerian Port Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, said the ship, powered by liquefied natural gas, represent the stride to meet the emission of greenhouse gases. Also speaking, Chairman, Lekki Free Zone Development Company, Abiodun Dabiri, commended Lagos State Government and other partners for the huge infrastructural development ongoing along the corridor, saying the road projects have already reduced travel time by half. The Permanent Secretary, Civil Service Commission, Akimbode Obadino, has emphasized the importance of teamwork and collaboration to produce a competent workforce that is disciplined and productive. Addressing members of the staff of the Commission at an interactive session, the Permanent Secretary described work synergy as crucial in the attainment of organizational set objectives and mandates. Obadino said that the interactive session will serve as a platform to gather information about some of the challenges hindering the effective discharge of duties among staff to address them. The highlight of the meeting was words of encouragement from the heads of directorate to inspire members of staff and the assurance of rededication towards the implementation and realization of the Commission's programs through improved service delivery. The Lagos State Government has given a 30 days final notice to owners, occupiers of residential buildings illegally converted to churches, mosques, clubhouses and lounges and bars across the state without approval for change of use to revert to the original use of the structure. General Manager, Lagos State Building Control Agency, LAPSCA, Bolaoki, who gave the notice in his office, said it applies to all structures located within the residential areas and without requisite permit for relevant authorities. Oki noted that the notice is sequel to the distortion of the master plan of Lagos State, especially residential areas, by some people who, in gross disregard to the regulatory provisions of the law, turned residential areas to clubhouses and worship centers, thereby constituting a nuisance to the environment. It stressed that the removal notice became imperative following security concerns of citizens and repeated complaints of non-adherence to safety and security guidelines issued to club owners. Oki advised property owners to take this notice with all seriousness it deserves, as nobody will be spared in the effort to sanitize the state, in line with the mega city status vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has reimposed the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew on Ilobo and Ifon communities following renewed hostilities involving the two towns. The governor announced the decision in a statement signed by the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Kolakbo Alimi. The decision was informed as a result of militias from Ilobo and Ifon communities fighting in villages at the border of Osun and Oyo states. Police confirmed the death of 2 persons in the crisis while properties were destroyed. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has inaugurated the Tripartite Committee on the National Minimum Wage. Vice President Kashim Shettima inaugurated the 37-member panel at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja, with its membership cutting across federal and state government, the private sector, and organized labor. The panel is to recommend the new national minimum wage for the country. In May 2017, the House of Representatives moved to amend the National Minimum Wage Act for a compulsory review of workers' remuneration every 5 years. Consequently, the Minimum Wage Act of 2019, signed by former President Muhammadu Buhari, empowers the committee to deliberate and come up with an agreed wage, which will be eventually ratified by the National Assembly after due legislative scrutiny. Oyo State government has announced that no fewer than 3,300 households will benefit from its COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program for the poor and vulnerable residents of the state. The state's Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dr. Oyelade, said this in a statement made available to pressmen. According to Oyelade, the vulnerable persons comprising disadvantaged individuals ranging from the aged, chronically ill, physically challenged, urban poor, and widows were from the 33 local government areas of the state. It will be recalled that in 2019 and 2020, a global pandemic called COVID-19 ravaged the world, with a large proportion of citizens, especially the poor and vulnerable households and individuals, facing challenges on multiple fronts, such as loss of labor, income, food, and security. And in foreign news, the African Union, AU, says it feels deep regret over the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger from ECOWAS. AU Commission President Moussa Faki Mohamed calls on the regional leaders to intensify the dialogue between the ECOWAS leadership and the 3 aforementioned countries, which on Sunday accused the West African bloc of posing a threat to their sovereignty. This indicates that the African Union Commission is willing to provide all the assistance in its power for success of the logic of fraternal dialogue, far from all external interference from whatever they may come. Leaders of the 3 Sahel nations have issued a statement saying it was a sovereign decision to leave the economic community of West African states without delay. And in the sport, Super Eagles head coach Ose Pesaro has refused to rule out Stanley Nwabali from the side's quarterfinals fixture against Angola. Pesaro said there is hope that Nwabali will be available for the game. He explained that the 27-year-old goalkeeper who sustained a knee injury will undergo another test on Wednesday. The head coach added that the result of the test will determine if Nwabali will start in the goal. Just before we go, always drive within the specified speed limit. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that Sonolo administration initiated 500 hectares rice farm technology intervention project? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has described the Lekki Deep Sea Port as projects that enshrine the name of the state and Nigeria and the global maritime business. The governor made this remark at the arrival ceremony of CMA CGM's Kandola, the largest container vessel to berth in Nigeria at the Lekki Deep Sea Port, Ibeju-Lekki. The federal government has inaugurated the Tripartite Committee on the National Minimum Wage. We also told you that the African Union, AU, says it feels deep regret over the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger from ECOWAS. And in the sport, Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesaro has refused to rule out Stanley Nwabali from the side quarterfinal fixture against Angola. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstate.gov.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adesanya Joyuka. I am Sarah Adesanya. Thank you for listening.